Hi, it's Cara from Enchanted Vines, and today I wanted to talk to you about greenery. So I do often talk about the yellow-based greenery, and I mention the blue-based greenery, but I really don't get into it too much. So I wanted to show you some different samples and textures. Some are wholesale, some are not, and so we'll go over that too. So the first greenery, and this is from the yellow-based family. Okay, so let's see, yellow-based ficus versus a blue-based ficus. Okay, so this is just more of that crisp green, and there are like blue undertones, and it's a little bit softer. Okay, so there are a lot of things you can do with ficus. It's a great value greenery. I like to mix at least 3 types of greenery when doing an arrangement or a wreath, just to make sure that there's that texture. So while this covers a lot of surface, it is flat for the most part. I mean, it's malleable and you can move it around. However, you're not going to get a whole lot of motion from it, okay? So that is from Pioneer, but they sell that at Craft Outlet. They sell it at a lot of different places. This is Mixed Fern. This is from Pioneer, and I love this. I love the color. You know, it's got that yellow tinge to it. It's got different textures, and this has a lot of movement when you're doing, you know, an arrangement or anything that you want to have that flare. These are also ones that you can push up so you can control how much of the greens are at the end. This is from Hobby Lobby, and I don't know what it's called. Can't remember. But this one is nice. So it has like little berry clusters at the ends. It has some of that yellow tinge to it, some darker greens. So this is a pretty one. This one is also a pusher, which is good because we don't want to have to waste any greenery if the stem is too long. So this is a good one from Hobby Lobby. This is from Pioneer. And what I like about this is it's variegated, and it also has these white tips. So this is going to provide a lot of texture in your design. Okay. This is Woodland Fern, and this is one I buy in cases. Like I'm never going to get tired of this. I don't ever want to run out of this. This is a perfect filler bush. It's from Pioneer. It's maybe $5 a piece, but you get so much from it. There are, let's see, I think there's 9 stems, and they're pushers, and they just take up a lot of space. And as you can see, there's just a lot of movement with them. So this is one of my favorite greens. And then this one I just discovered. I did like some dupes from Joann's, and this one was called, I think it was called a berry bush, and I love this. So it not only has a little bit of white to it, it has yellow, and you could pull this apart so you could get several different pieces out so you could disperse it through your design. All right, this is a good one. Next is the blue-based. Okay, so we've already talked about our ficus. And, you know, this is, again, this is a flat greenery. This is Silver Dollar Eucalyptus. So again, this has a nice texture. It's nice that it has a different shape. However, it is going to fall a little flat. You can use the wire in it to give it a little bit of movement. However, it's not going to be much of a filler. Now, this eucalyptus, which is from Michael's, this is a great filler. Okay, so it is not a pusher, but the stems are pretty short anyways. But this is going to fill in spaces in between your florals, and the coloring on this is beautiful. It's nice and soft. This is from Michael's, and it's Sage Eucalyptus. So this is almost gray. It's a very, very pale green. It's on the verge of being gray or silver. So this would also be in this family. So this is one you're going to get some height. You can use it to fill as well because it's got some big leaves to it. This is from Michael's, and this is one of my favorite greeneries from Michael's because I love the way it crawls. So for this is the type of greenery I use when I want to have things maybe like crawling out in between flowers, or if I want to have a cascading end and I want it to have a little bit of that dramatic descend, I like to use this greenery. And this is one that I buy through Michaels Pro because I do use it pretty frequently. This is a spray from Michaels, and I love this. This has so many different pieces of texture. I cut the stem down just for storage purposes, but it has some seeded eucalyptus, it has some pods, it has regular eucalyptus, silver dollar eucalyptus. So what's great about this is either you can keep it intact, and if you do, you want to fluff it up. You want to make sure that you're getting every bit of movement out of this. Or you could split it up if you wanted to. I tend to keep it together just because I love how this is all laid out. It's beautiful. This is just a pale silver dollar eucalyptus. This is also from Michaels, also part of the blue family. And then the one that makes me think of blue tones the most is lamb's ear. So lamb's ear is so soft. You know, it has those grayish, bluish undertones. And this is one that's great for a filler. It's great because it's got the movement, and obviously the feel of these is just beautiful. So I always encourage the use of 3 different greeneries just for texture. And then as far as what flowers you can use, there's not really like a hard and fast rule. The examples I figured I would show is, so peonies can definitely go with all of this yellow based greenery, absolutely. But to me, peonies look so nice with softer greenery, so I would go with something on the blue base side. I think that they just complement each other nicely. And for these blue hydrangeas, like this is an example of, it looks nice with our blue based, but it also looks nice with our yellow based greenery. White can go with either. It's gonna look great whether it's with, you know, greenery from the blue family or if it's from the yellow. I always feel like the yellow base kind of has a fresher, more natural look, but it's all about preference. So, you know, I mean, in lamb's ear, this is what lamb's ear looks like anyway. So it's all about preference. And then the last one is green hydrangeas. And this is one I would say I would stick with the yellow based greenery because it itself is yellow based. So to me, I feel like that clashes a bit. So, you know, but again, it's all about what you like and what aesthetic speaks to you. And then I had a question from somebody about mixing greens. And of course you can. It's whatever you like to do. So I will say when I use this greenery from Michaels, it's often paired with something that has the yellow undertones. So it's not that you can't do it because a lot of these have different shades to them. So it's just, typically I find it more cohesive if I stay within one family. But of course, if you see something that looks nice together, go with what your instincts are and what design you want to go for, and don't feel like you have to follow rules around color families. So this is it for greenery. There are so many different options, and I always say, you know, the flowers are the star of the show, but the greenery is the supporting actors, and it's very important to have natural looking greenery. You don't want to spend all this money on these beautiful florals and then put them with some really artificial greenery. I think it just kind of drags down the piece altogether. So, you know, you can mix in more expensive greens with less expensive, but I would take stock in finding some greens that you really love. Like where is it? Like I always keep this on hand. I can design anything with this. Same thing with the ficus. So it's nice when you find one that you can really stock up on. So again, there were some options here. Some of the wholesale was from Pioneer, some was from Michaels, and some was from Hobby Lobby. So I hope this answers a few questions about different greeneries. And if you have any questions, please reach out. And if you found this video helpful, please click the subscribe button because there's more to come.